Here we are. Hey, Rebel Writers. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to our next installment of Rebel Writers in Action. I'm going to give our Facebook bots just another few seconds here to give you all the notification that we are live. So let us know if you are joining us live or if you're catching the replay, say hello. I am here with my dear friend and colleague, Kimberley Day.
Hello.
Write and Grow Rich. I'm so excited to have this conversation today. Let me tell you a little bit about Kimberley, and then we're just going to get into it. I want to make sure, there we are. Yay, I see us in our beautiful faces. So yeah, let me tell you about Kimberley and her amazing award-winning book, Write and Grow Rich, How to Use a Book to Supersize. Hey, look, there it is. Supersize your brand, your business, and your bank account. Who doesn't want that? All those things. Kim helps coaches, consultants, and service-based entrepreneurs overcome the daily struggle, of finding their next client to stand out from the crowd in their industry and increase visibility, credibility, and authority by publishing a book. This is the perfect place for us to be today. Thank you, Kimberley, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Woo. Now, one of the things Kimberley and I talk about a lot is how similar our work is, but also some of the key differences. And what I do know is that both of us are just really passionate about helping other people put their message out in the world. And we may both do it through writing, but it's also like where you're focused on the marketing piece to really help people get their message out there. And I do that too, but it's really about honing in on your message. But what I know is true for us both is that we do care about people really honing in on getting their work in the world. And to do that, you have to become a marketing queen.
Right? It's not just about writing. It's about how then do you get that message out into the world, and how do you write it in a way that's compelling and attracts your clients to you?
Yes. Yes. It sounds simple, but as we know, there are so many layers to this simple work.
So many layers. Yep.
All the things. So tell me about, obviously you flashed up your book there. Tell us a little bit about how that process was for you and how that took you to the point where you're at today, where you're helping other people do the same.
Yeah, that's a great question. And first of all, I just want to say thank you, Renee, of course, for having me here. And like, you are the writer, right? We've had this conversation so many times. So, you're watching because you're in Renee's Rebel Writers group, so you know she's fabulous. And I want you to know that I am not a writer. This is not what my area of expertise is. My area of expertise is the marketing piece behind the book, right? So it's that foundational level that somebody needs to have in place to not only write your book, but to write the right book, right? The client attracting book. So I'm super, super lucky I feel super grateful anyway, to be, living the life of my dreams. I'm tuning in today from Playa del Carmen, Mexico. So I'm living my location independent, toes in sand, phone in hand, semi-retirement plan, but helping other amazing entrepreneurs get their big messages out, make that big income, and make a big impact all at the same time. And so I feel super blessed and grateful to be able to do that and be able to be surrounded by other amazing colleagues like you, Renee. But you know my story. And so for those of you watching, it wasn't always this way, right? For years, I was actually a financial advisor for over 13 years, in fact. And I was struggling on what I call the income roller coaster. So I'd have a really great month and then I'd be like, oh my God, where's my next visa payment coming from, or meal or mortgage payment, or like, what am I going to do? I don't have enough clients. And it wasn't because I was not a good financial advisor. I went to finance school, right? I learned how to run people's plans and set them up for success financially. But what they didn't teach me in finance school was how to run a business and how to find clients. They told me what to do once the client was sitting in front of me very, very effectively, but they didn't tell me how to go out and get clients, right? So Renee, I know like all of us as entrepreneurs kind of struggle with that. So if you're watching and that's something that you struggle with a little bit, what I want you to know is that it doesn't have to be that way, right? So finally, I got to a point in my life and in my business where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was tired of going out into the world trying to be an entrepreneur and then having to go back and get a job in finance. Because I'm telling you right now, that industry was miserable. It was toxic. It was soul sucking. So if you dream about having your own business so that you can also buy back some time and money freedom, then you've got to learn these skills. So I made a decision and I went on this journey to learn better marketing and business skills. And day after day and week after week, I was able to get the skills. And one of the main things I learned was that to up level yourself and attract new clients, you need to position yourself as an expert and a thought leader. And so one of the tools that I learned was how to write a book to do that. And when I did that process, I hired a mentor, I hired a coach that helped me through the step-by-step way to get it done quickly. Because I don't know about you, but I like to take the fast way, not the slow way. So, and I know that the fastest way to the fast way is to hire somebody who's already done it before you and follow their path. So I did that. And in less than 3 months, I wrote my first book, which was the Financial Playbook.
Oh, look at you.
And this was designed to get me the results in my finance business. And what it did was so transformational. In less than 12 months, I had doubled my income, doubled my assets under management. I was getting free medium publicity. I had CTV News at my book launch. So if that didn't give it away, I am Canadian. So I had our national news, but our local division of it at my book launch. And all of a sudden my business took off like gangbusters. People were noticing me in the crowd going, oh, you're that girl who was on Rogers Daytime last week. Well, they started noticing and knowing who I was. So the results were so transformational, in fact, that I decided, oh my God, this is way more fun than selling life insurance. And I am going to teach other business owners how to do this. And that's when Write and Grow Rich was born. So I packaged up all of that information that I learned about marketing and using a book to up-level your branding and position yourself as a thought leader and attract more clients. And the Write and Grow Rich program was born. And it's kind of, now I'm living the dream. I've got my beautiful business. I get to work when I want, how I want. Nobody gets to tell me when I can take vacation or where I need to work from. And it's amazing. And you know, if I could do it as a struggling 13 years, I struggled. And if I could learn how to turn that ship around and do it, I'm telling you right now, you can do it too. Stop the struggle. Learn some better tools.
I know. Yeah. Well, Kimberly Day, you are the ultimate rebel writer because you did, right? You saw that better way. You knew there was a better way and you were not going to just sit back while, you know, and let the status quo stay. And you're not going to allow that for your clients and your future clients too. And I know there's a lot of you here in the group who have your own businesses, or, you know, that visionary and thought leader. You have these stories to tell, and those stories are, you know, not just for us, right? You know, they can teach us, even if you're a fiction writer, right? Like, we're talking about universal themes, universal stories, and those things can be what takes your work and your life to the next level. They're not
and impact somebody else's life in a really great way, right? So
exactly,
it's always on my heart. It's like, why do entrepreneurs need to struggle? Why do the stats have to be that 96% of, especially coaching industry type of businesses, which is very, very, I mean, there are a lot around right now. So if 96% of businesses and coaching businesses are failing, Why can't we flip those numbers on their head?
Right.
Why can't we learn the skills? So 96% of coaches and consultants and entrepreneurs can achieve success and really take control of their business. And I truly believe that that is possible. And that's my, my flag in the ground. That's what I dream. That's my bigger vision, is to really flip those entrepreneurial failure numbers into entrepreneurial success numbers.
Yes. Oh, I love it. And you can write the book to do it. And
Yeah.
Kimberly can show you how.
Yeah. And Renee can help you if you're not really great at writing. I'll tell you how to structure it all, and she can help you write.
There you go.
On paper. Yeah.
You make a fantastic team, Kimberly.
We would, definitely.
That's true. Well, so let's talk a little bit about the marketing piece, because I know currently, and you talk about, you work with mainly coaches and consultants. And so, thinking about those statistics, like what is the key for being able to take these steps into this marketing world, to really put ourselves out there in a way that people can hear? And you talk about in any economy, especially
now more than ever, right? In a, dare we say, still a post-pandemic economy, when people are doing business differently. Let's just face it. There's so many more people online, because people realize, oh, I don't actually have to go and meet somebody face to face to actually build a relationship and build community and build connection. And so now more than ever, your marketing really needs to stand above the crowd, right? And so I talk about marketing fulfilling these 5 must-haves in a new economy, or any economy really. But, it was a little bit easier before, and now it takes a little bit more thought to really be able to rise above the crowd. And so I talk about the 5 marketing must-haves that I think should be in place for your marketing to really shine. And one is that your marketing needs to attract clients. So gone are the days of chasing after clients. And who really likes
Thank goodness.
Right? Oh my God, it's torture. It was so painful for me to have to chase after clients.
Yeah.
And this, by understanding who your client is really important, so that, again, you can write the right book, or design your copywriting, or your blog posts, or your articles, or your social posts, that they're designed to have your client go, oh my gosh, she is talking right to me, or he is talking right to me, right? It's using compelling marketing language that makes the reader, or the viewer, if that is a video that you're doing, or the listener, if you're putting out content in audio format, to make that person raise their hand and go, oh, yes, I need that thing, right? Or that whatever you're offering is going to help solve one of my problems. And when I raise my hand and say I'm interested in that, now you've got the magic and the power of attraction working for you.
Right.
And so with the book, that usually starts with your title and your subtitle, right? Really crafting that to attract your reader right off the page, right? So that is super powerful. It's the same concept, though, that can be used in parallel with titles and subtitles of emails that you write, of article titles and subtitles, of social posts. So the same concepts that I teach in the book writing program apply to all of your other marketing, which is really fun.
Yeah. I love it. You have so many good tips and tricks. And I have seen firsthand, many of your clients who have gone through your programs. And, I try not to get too jealous when they're posting their launch and their pictures of their their book covers, and look what I did. And it's just, it's really beautiful to watch work that you do. And I feel like, and maybe you can speak to this a little bit before we close out, but that it does something to empower you, like your clients. They are fully empowered to then do their work and use their voices in a way that I don't see in other areas.
Well, that real trick is having a system, a path to follow. I personally believe, right? So I teach them how to go out and do that. So I know the story that you're talking about, which is my client Erica, who just got not only featured the week before her book launch in Forbes.com. So if you've got an industry magazine or publication that you think you could get featured on, wouldn't that be cool? But doesn't that up level your credibility and authority positioning? But what it really does is it solves marketing must-have number 2, which is visibility. Because radio, newspaper, TV, podcast hosts and shows, all of these people start their year, their month, their week their day with a blank slate, and they are looking to fill it with content from powerful and credible experts just like you. And your book positions you as that expert, which is actually marketing must-have number 3. But your expert positioning book gets you the visibility that allows you to get put onto those platforms of other people's platforms. And I talk about it all the time. If you've ever heard me speak before, I call it OPP, right? Who's down with OPP?
Yeah, you know me.
So the power of the visibility is getting on other people's platforms where your perfect audience is assembled by someone else.
Right.
The hardest things is assembling an audience of your perfect client. So why not go where your perfect client's already hanging out? Somebody else has done the work of assembling the audience, and you just show up because your book has opened the door as the credible expert who then gets on that platform and gets visible. So you not only get more visibility and more eyeballs on your work, but more of the right eyeballs again, right? Write the right book, get in front of more of the right audience. So now you've got attraction working for you. People have raised their hand and said, I'm interested in that topic. You've got visibility. You're getting out on other people's platforms. You're speaking. You're now becoming omnipresent on all of your social channels and on, video and audio and everywhere else. You've got the credibility and the expert positioning from the book and the speaking and the content that you're creating, right? And then not only that, but you stand out from the crowd. So number 4 is differentiation, right? You stand out from the crowd because most people think it's really hard to write a book. And when you have a path to follow, it's actually not that hard. And in fact, one of my last clients, Liz, wrote her manuscript in 2 days. It's the fastest. She's the record holder right now.
That's incredible.
I had Amber write hers in 4 days. I'm going to tell you, I wrote Write and Grow Rich in 10 days. I not only wrote it, but I opened up a Word document, started writing it, and had 2 boxes of printed copies on my desk 10 days later. Now, I did take 3 months to write my first one.
Right.
So I didn't just pick up a pen and start writing and be have a book in days. But what I realized that there's a path to follow, a system. And when you have this, it can happen really fast and really easy, because really you're just getting your expertise out of your head and into a format that people perceive as a book. And it's actually not really that hard to do when you've got the path to run on. But because everybody thinks it's hard, you actually rise above the cream of the crop in your industry as an expert, because all of your competition don't have a book.
Right.
So now you're not only the expert, but you're the expert that wrote the book on it. There's a saying for a reason, right? I wrote the book on it. So why not trust me versus someone else? Of course, it's a bit more powerful because I'm teaching someone how to write a book. But if you wrote the book on downsizing, on, fitness over 50, on name your industry and think of a book that you, or an expert that you follow, and do you perceive them as an expert? And they're likely a published author. So that's a super, super powerful marketing superpower that you have if you can be perceived as more expert than your competition, than your other people in your industry. And a book has the power to do that, I believe.
Yeah, I think, and you're right, and I think that's where that empowered feeling comes from. And not just a feeling, because there's something tangible that, it's not just all in your head. And we forget that, those mind games that we play, right? Oh, wait, I really do know what I'm talking about. Look, I even have the book to say it.
And the tangibility of it, Renee, is actually pretty interesting too, because that kind of leads and is the perfect segue to number 5, the 5 marketing must-have, is that your marketing needs to have shelf life, pun
Mm,
intended, right? And I think about the marketing of days gone by, the business cards. We barely even have business cards anymore, right?
right.
Brochures and
Oh, yeah.
direct mail. Where does that end up? Straight in the blue bin, right? Nobody throws out a book. But even more so, again, if you're using your book to open doors to podcast appearances and articles in Forbes.com or whatever your industry magazine, those live on the internet forever as well. So people happenstance upon you, and all of a sudden they're listening to a podcast, 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, and they're going, oh, who is this person that I need to go and learn about?
Mm,
And so
mm,
you create marketing with longevity, with shelf life.
right, right. Girl, I am so fired up right now. The Rebel Writer's Guide is coming, I swear.
You got to get that out.
I know. I need
Let's
you.
get that out of you and get
I
it
need
into
you. Well, and let's wrap it up there. I seriously am so fired up, and I know that all of you out there listening to us today are also, it's that itch, it's that knock. It's like, hey, I could do this. I've had this book in me. And what better way than to have that structure and support and somebody who's been through the process 2 times over lead the way, right? To be your guide. So Kimberly Day,
Yeah.
if we want to get in touch with you and we want that next first step, what is our next first step?
Well, your next first
Client
step, I
attracting
do
book.
have a wonderful, beautiful free gift that I'm happy to gift anyone in your group. And it is my 10-step guide to plan and write your very own client attracting book. And it's actually a 20-page workbook. It's not just a guide. It's a workbook with, if you print it out and download it, you can fill out all the answers. It's everything from how to plan, how to promote, how to publish, how to create a juicy title and subtitle that sizzles and sells, how to plan out your content in a really fast and easy way so it gets out of your head and onto paper faster than a speeding bullet, and everything you need to actually have that outline to be able to create that first rough draft of your manuscript in record time. So I'm happy to give that to everybody listening.
Oh, thank you so much, Kimberly.
You're so welcome.
I'm going to download that. As soon as we get the link, we will put it there in the chat for everybody to be able to go find and download and start the process, the very next step in creating that client attracting book, Write and Grow Rich. Kimberly Day, thank you so much for being here today.
Renee, Zukin, you're fabulous. And to all you rebel writers out there, stay safe, stay strong, stay positive, and keep writing.
Thanks, everybody.